Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to Accountants Minute. Personal Property Securities Register ignorance. SMEs need accountants' help. Unfortunately, the majority of small medium enterprise operators are unaware of the consequences of not registering their customers or businesses that they have dealings with relative to assets of their business on the Personal Property Securities Register. There have been millions of dollars lost by businesses in Australia, a significant amount of which were small medium enterprise businesses in the 4.5 years that this legislation has been operating. I'm sure that your accountancy business views your role as the trusted advisor to your small medium enterprise clients. Therefore, I think you've got a very important obligation to be ensuring that your clients understand how the Personal Property Securities Act operates and the necessity for protection to at least be giving consideration to registering transactions, customers and people that they've got business dealings with relative to assets of their business on the Personal Property Securities Register. Our suggestion is you start with preparing a list of your clients who could be classified as being in a Personal Property Securities Act high risk category. Because if those businesses have not registered, it could be very costly for them and in fact could lead to a business failure. So why not prepare a list of the clients within your firm who could be classified as being in a high risk category? The activities that they could be involved in that I think would indicate that they could be a high risk category would include having stock stored on someone else's premises, supplying stock on a consignment basis to businesses, having motor vehicles, boats, aircraft on lease to businesses for longer than 2-year periods, having indefinite leases that might run over a 2-year period, because if those leases run over the 2-year period and you want protection, it needs to be registered on the Personal Property Securities Register. Or they could be tradies, and in their contracts they're dealing with major contractors and other businesses. Unfortunately, this group has been very prone to receiving liquidators' preferential payment claims, because in some instances liquidators are claiming that they have received payments in preference to other people. Legal experts have indicated that if those businesses, those tradie businesses, had registered that customer on the Personal Property Securities Register, the vast majority of them would not have had a problem with the liquidator. So why don't they register? Many of them claim they didn't know. I think this comes back to the accountant's role in advising them. So I'd suggest you identify your clients and then have a discussion with them about what is personal property. Unfortunately, a large number of people still have confusion about it and don't realise it's their business property, everything but land and buildings. Let's have a look at some of the key issues that have occurred over the last 4.5 years. A liquidator was able to successfully claim $29 million worth of stock that was located in a retail business that had a number of stores and was not registered on the Personal Property Securities Register. $29 million for the benefit of the secured creditor. A cabinet maker entered into a contract to develop kitchen suites for a display village and then entered into an agreement to rent those kitchen suites to the developer of the display village for a 3-year period. Unfortunately, the cabinet maker had no idea of what he had to do about the Personal Property Securities Register, did not register those kitchen suites thought he was dealing with a very solid organisation, and a liquidator was appointed. The liquidator seized those kitchen suites reputed to be worth in the vicinity of $1 million. And then, to really add salt into the wound, a few weeks later issued a preferential payment claim for rental payments in the 6-month period prior to the liquidator's appointment. I don't think you'd want any of these types of situations being presented to you by your clients, would you? Another major problem has been incorrect documentation as part of the registration process. So that's people who understood that they needed to protect themselves, and then unfortunately they had the wrong terminology or the wrong forms that they then attempted to register, and not completing the form work in time. This legislation has got some very strict registration deadlines. In some cases 15 working days, and in others 20 working days. And if you do not register within the stipulated period of time, your registration is nowhere near as effective as what it would have been if you had been able to register within time. These problems cost a lot of money, time and worry for your SME clients. SME clients need help from their trusted advisor. I think this process of reviewing your client's system relative to the Personal Property Securities Register should become part of your annual process for your business clients, especially those clients who you have identified as being in the high risk category for the Personal Property Securities Act. We've talked to a number of our subscribers who are using our product, and we have decided on an indicative fee to give you an idea of what you might charge your client for undertaking an annual review. Would be around $900 plus GST for an annual review. Those clients who have had staff turnover in the key areas relating to debtors transactions and registrations on the PPSR would probably require a more frequent review. How many high risk category clients do you think your firm would have? The ESS BIZTOOLS product package is available as a standalone package, if you wish to subscribe on that basis, for $550 plus GST. Or you could subscribe as part of the ESS BIZTOOLS Silver package, which is our featured new financial year package with a 25% discount for $1,641 instead of $2,189. If you click onto our website, essbiztools.com.au, you can access a 40-minute webinar on the Personal Property Securities Register due diligence process that we recommend you look at operating for your clients. There's also a free webinar series, Budgets and Cash Flow Forecasts on 11th of July, Capital Raising on the 24th of July, Identifying Grants for SMEs on the 30th of July, and Chief Financial Officer Services on the 31st of July. Each of those webinars will be presented at 12:30 AEST. Thank you for your interest. I hope I've alerted you to the consequences that some of your clients could encounter if they have not registered on the Personal Property Securities Register. But also, I hope I've alerted you to some potential new fee areas that your firm could earn. Have a great day. Goodbye.